Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, Hero Hoists, and Martin's Panel Masters. Can you believe that a country town in Victoria with a population of around 800 peeps can put on a classic vehicle event where the town's numbers almost doubles? Hang around and see how the recipe cooks up on this week's Classic Restos. Well, here I am standing in the main street of Meredith, Victoria. And as you can see behind me, the whole town has rushed outside to greet me. Things aside, it's been a couple of years since I have been here, and as you know, I love working our regional areas. The long-term association with the old school streetcars of Geelong has brought me back. But why to Meredith? What's the plan?
Our plan for the Meredith Car Show 2018 has been like previous years, is to look after the community, a struggling farming area for small population, a group of car enthusiasts from Geelong, which we are. This is our 7th year. To come out to this beautiful little place in Meredith, look at the weather, it's unbelievable. To raise some money for needed charities as well. We couldn't do it without the support of the Lara panels. The Royal Hotel Meredith have been on board since day one. We also have Drysdale Auto Pro, Geelong Marble House, and businesses like that. Without them, we wouldn't be able to put the day on. So, as I was saying, it's a group of car enthusiasts who hung around together years ago. We've got back together. We've ended up from the first year, 7 years ago, with 70 cars. Our aim today is up to 700 cars and a couple hundred bikes. So, as I said, the plan is to look after the area, to get people out for a drive, using their old cars and having fun. Families and friends, different vendors. Also, you know, hopefully they grab a snag off the barbecue and they can make a sandwich. And like I said, the proceeds will go to Maddie's Vision today. Every year we've gone a different direction, but this year the money's going to Maddie's Vision. Like I said, our car club started 7 years ago with about 6 blokes. We've grown to 70 members at the moment with different classic Australian cars and American muscle car. Average age is probably around 45 to 55 years of age. We've all got the same sort of passion. You know, a lot of guys went away, got married, had a family. We've all got back together now, and the generation goes on. We've got some guys who've got their sons involved in the club, their daughters, and their grandchildren now of actually driving old cars, which is what our aim is trying to do, is keep the old cars on the road. Everybody's welcome, from newborns and to 80 and 90-year-old farmers in the town actually come out. So it's a wide scope of people, all different ages. And we keep the cost down. That's our main aim too. We only charge gold coin donation and $5 per car. Very rare you go to a car show nowadays, and you know, without the support from the Meredith Cricket Club to give us the venue and the Golden Plains Shire to give us the opportunity to park cars in the Oval is unbelievable, because without the Oval, we'd probably only get 200 cars here. But you know, we'll have the Oval filled by about 10:30 with over 350 cars just on the Oval. So special thanks to the Meredith Cricket Club. You know, without them guys getting on board, we wouldn't have the place to have it. Old school street cars Geelong, we do cars and coffee, you know, 3 or 4 times a year, which is like usually on a Sunday morning. We get a group of people like this, but just a smaller version of it, and we get together and we always donate the money purely to a charity on the day. It's usually somewhere in Geelong that's a small business. Unfortunately, a lot of times the small business is struggling, so we sort of help them out, and it's great for the club, and it's great for the people in the Geelong area, to get an opportunity to bring their cars out, and like I said before, for families to come down and have a look. And also I've been lucky enough to know Fletch for the last probably 6 or 7 years, and for what he does for the car community, not just in Geelong, I know he's in Geelong a lot, but all of Australia and his trips to America. I know the people out there really appreciate seeing him on telly, and I can't believe he hasn't aged over the last 7 years that I've met him. So whatever he's doing, I'd like to get onto it. But no, thanks to Mark, everyone calls him Fletch, does a great job, and to do what he does on his own and get the support that he does is awesome.
What do we say? Moving through the Meredith event here for 2018. How are you, John?
I'm good, Fletch. How are you?
Good, thank you. I hope you didn't mind me picking on you first cab off the rank today.
No, a pleasure. I've always admired people you've interviewed when I've seen you.
Well, actually, you're one of them now.
Yes, good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. Now, John, the reason I've picked on you with your MG, I can't say that I've seen a 6-cylinder MG like this before. Tell us a story.
I didn't make many of them because most of them went to America between the years of 1967, 68, 69. 69 they finished making them. Back in them days, British Leyland, the American market, they loved the English sports car. So it didn't matter what size engine it's at in, really. Other than that, I've always wanted one because I used to work for British Leyland.
John, tell us about the engine up front.
It's a 2.9 litre. Basically, people say it's a Healy engine, but it's slightly different. Other than that, it's a cruiser. It's a lovely car to drive. It's got overdrive.
When you walk along and you see the 6-cylinder engine almost shoehorned into the front of a car this size, yes. It's a good power to weight package.
It is. What you got to realise, that engine bay is totally different from a 4-cylinder B. It was totally designed for the 6-cylinder. The suspension's different. It's got torsion bar suspension. Yep. Okay. So the engine bay is built purposely for the 6.
John, it was great to catch up with you in 2018.
Yeah. Thank you, Fletch. It was nice to see you.
My passion for cars began when Nana and Pop bought their new Toyota Crown. It was Nana's, really. She loved that car. We went everywhere in it. My passion now is just the same, even though my cars are a little different. I've still got Nana's car, couldn't part with it. And I reckon if she was here today, she'd be insured with Shannons too.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
In 2019, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicenter. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your 2019 Detroit tour with Fletch. 1300 146 392. How would you like to double your garage space and work on your cars easily? Well, bring in your own hero with a Lift King hoist. Easy to install models in 1, 2 and 4 post styles. Check the very nifty Spider 2500 portable mini scissor lift. Hero hoists are either Oz certified or carry the Euro CE, your guarantee of quality construction and reliability. I regularly stand under my Lift King, so when you need a bit of a lift, why don't you go stand under yours? Hare & Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare & Forbes has the range. Time now for Ma Mopar on today's show. How you doing, Des?
Good, Fletch. How you going?
Good, mate. Good. 1978 CL 318 4-speed. Now, this is a rare car.
Yeah, it's pretty rare in its own right. It's a good drive. We enjoy it.
What I love about it too, Des, totally original, unrestored.
Yeah, look, it's unrestored. It's had a bit of loving over the years. Reconditioned engine, bit of body work, just to keep it looking neat.
Now, Des, telling me before we started filming, I think what is lovely as well, your father's car. Now, that has to mean something extra special to you.
Yeah, it does. Look, the car's been in the family for, my father had it 20 odd years. He was due to retire and he had a bit of a collection that he wanted to clear out, and my wife and I decided to keep one in the family, so we purchased this one.
Yeah. It's so good to see a 318 4-speed car. The old single rail 4-speed Borg Warner box, they put it in a few cars. It did a magnificent job back in the day for what it was.
Yeah, and look, even today, you cruise down the highway today at your 100 Ks, does it easy. It's just fun to drive, and it's a real head turner. People love to see it on the road, so it's fun to get out in.
Chargers are a cool car. The Mopar fraternity, a lot of the marks throughout that are the same. Almost the cars where they're almost neutral, where it doesn't matter what your passion is, you'll see one going down the road and you'll stop and have a look at it and think, yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, correct. I think it's all to do with the body lines, the old Hey Charger advertising campaign. They're just a really cool car. I've had a soft spot for them forever, and when the opportunity came along to purchase this car in the condition that it was, turnkey, ready to go, I thought it was a great opportunity to buy a classic everyday driver and enjoy it for what it is.
I think too, Des, that Ford and Holden always grab the accolades, especially for sales in this country. The Chrysler was always the third one down on the rung when it came to that sort of thing. So being the lesser in terms of sales, I think all these decades down the track, they've earned their own accolades, because just because they might have been third on the sales rung doesn't mean to say they're any less of a car.
No, look, back in the day, they were probably the poor man's, like you said, running third. You had a Charger or you had a Valiant, the old spaghetti jet that they used to call them. At the end of the day, they're coming to their own now. They're demanding good money, good quality ones, and even the hard-to-get ones are exactly that. There's not a lot of them ever built. Yep. If they've been looked after, a lot of them have been wrecked over the years, but the ones that have survived are exactly that, survivors.
Desi, it's really cool out and about cruising in the Charger. You brought the family too, mate. What's going on there?
Oh, look, as I said, it's got 5 seats, so I may as well fill it up. Beautiful day. We've come down from Ballarat. We're only half an hour down the road, and my wife and daughter and one of her friends have decided to come along and enjoy the day and check out some cool cars.
Des, thanks for sharing it with us, mate. There's a lot of cool cars here today, but in its own right here, you've got a beauty.
Very good. Thanks, Fletch. Have a good day.
Thanks, mate. You too. And of course, if you own a classic vehicle, it just has to be insured with Shannons. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And if you have anything to do with a classic bike, classic car or a classic truck club, make sure that that is listed with the Shannons Club for all the world to see. For more information, go and visit shannons.com.au. Now, I know we've already had a Mopar on today's show, but this is a little bit different. This is from the United States of America. How you doing, Rod?
I'm doing well, thanks, Fletch.
That's good. A beautiful 1957 Desoto. Love this car. Virgil Exner, the first of the forward-look cars. That's pretty special.
Yes, it is. The story behind the car is, it came out here in 2003. My mate, John Morswick, he imported it. And the story behind the car being a two-owner, original car, it's only ever had one paint job, and apart from that, when he picked it up from the wharf, you'll notice a bit later on, he's named it Peggy Sue, and the reason he named it Peggy Sue, when he picked it up from the wharf, the radio come on and played Peggy Sue.
Oh, wow.
And that's the reason why the car's called Peggy Sue. Unfortunately, he passed nearly 12, 18 months ago, and his family offered the car to me, so I bought it.
Rod, what a beautiful story. 1957. It's a long time ago. It's a lot of years for a car, any car, and I think to come this far, to pop on out the other side at this point now in 2018 and look the way it does now,
thank you.
That's incredible.
Yeah, well, it's very original. It was a two-owner car in the States, and as I said before, the only thing he did to it was repainted it in 2003. The rest is very original.
It's a nice old mover, I suppose. These cars back in their time, they were built for the turnpikes. They were built for the highways.
Exactly, yeah. Beautiful car on the road. I don't flex it at all because you've got to look after them.
You do.
And, there's no point in flexing them because something will break.
Mind you, though, they were built to run, though, Rod.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, yeah.
All right, Rod, well, thanks for the chat, mate.
All right, thank you, Fletch.
And I'd like to compliment you also on your summery look. I reckon you're a pretty cool slicker.
Thank you.
Good on you, mate. How cool is this 1957 Desoto from the United States of America? Yes, a full-size car from the late 1950s, 20 feet in length, and the rear fins and the quarter panel in back, 1.8 metres in length, or 6 feet in the old scale. Of course, this car, brand new, painted steel wheels with full-face dress rims, would have looked superb back in the day. But I like what Rod has done here. The chrome Kelsey Hayes wheels, I believe, set off this type of car. Long wheelbase, wide track, the chrome looks sensational.
Every weekend around Australia, motoring enthusiasts get together to share their passion for cars and bikes. It's a passion that brings us together. All sorts of people, all sorts of cars and bikes. From the classics of today to the classics of tomorrow. At Shannons, we understand enthusiasts. So when it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
In 2019, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicenter. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your 2019 Detroit tour with Fletch. 1300 146 392. If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Hare and Forbes has the range. Martin's Panel Masters has 3 modern accident repair centres. They service Melbourne's inner, outer east and the fast-growing southeast corridor. Your vehicle will receive the best from state-of-the-art repair equipment finished beautifully from computer-based paint mixing systems, finished in Australian compliant spray booths. Martin's Panel Masters, located at Ferntree Gully and Berwick, also Box Hill Panels. Time now for Tommy on today's show. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Fletch, yourself?
Good, mate, good. Now, MotorX, Victoria 2018. Just quickly, what an event.
A beautiful event. First time there with the car, and big show, massive show. A lot of nice cars there too, actually.
Now, that's where we met up, and time ran out for me there at that show. So huge, but it's good that you made it to Meredith to finally get yourself on Classic Restos, mate.
Appreciate it, mate. Glad to be here. It's good
you mustn't have had much else to do today, right?
No, I cleared the diary for this show, mate. It was big show. I can't believe how many cars are here. It's unbelievable. And nice country town, similar to where I'm from originally. I'm from Shepparton myself, so yeah. Well,
as Dave Rocco alluded to earlier, 70 cars around 7 or so years ago for the first show, now to a paddock of over 700. The paddock is literally full. Out on the street, up the road. How incredible is this for Meredith? It would certainly be the largest event here in this little town every year.
Oh, by far. First time to Meredith for me as well, and like I said, so many cars here, nice people too. A lot of people come up and said some good things about the car and all that, so it's really great.
Okay, now speaking of the car, we've got a Superbird here, 1973, beautiful car. You've done a lovely restoration on this car, Tommy. Tell us what you can in the time you have here now.
Oh, well, it's a family car, so Dad bought it brand new. I grew up in it as a kid till about 1987 when Dad smashed it. And it had been off the road for pretty much about 25 years or so before I decided to start fixing it up.
That must have near destroyed him when he did that.
Yeah, and as a kid too. I mean, it destroyed me as a kid because it was my favourite car. It was always going to be my car and all that kind of thing. And
beautiful car, Tommy. We've got the 4.9, the 302 Cleveland sitting proud there. Original rocker covers, air cleaner. I just love the way that the Clevo sits in the engine bay. It just looks so good.
It does. It looks nice. And the main thing with the Resto was just trying to make it the way the car was when Dad wrecked it. Yeah. So, I mean, the exhaust isn't factory. It's the way Dad had it. Yep. I've pretty much done everything exactly the same as best I could. So,
what's the colour?
Lime glaze.
Lime glaze, beautiful colour. I've always had a soft spot for these XA, XB Falcons, the wraparound dashboard, the first year of that. Deep dish or high back bucket seats. The way they finished these cars, I think in the early 70s here on the Australian market, beautiful.
Very beautiful, and actually something that's not probably renowned as much as how comfortable they are. Forget about the look. I mean, to sit in a car for an hour and get out and be fine, I mean, it's just so comfortable, these seats, not just the way they look.
Well, that's right. I mean, we're talking cockpit styling. The seats are well bolstered. The two-door coupes, fat in their own right.
Yeah, true.
They're on their own, especially when you look at the rear view of these things. The Ford Australia really did a couple of wicked little moves when they designed this car.
Yeah, they nailed it. They definitely nailed it. And you've got to remember, as a kid growing up, I never got to drive the car. The closest I got to sitting on my mum's lap and steering it down the driveway, because we had a really long driveway. But to drive it now, it's like driving a brand new car, really. Yeah. So in that respect, I'm really lucky, because it's like I've got another brand new car that's about 50 years old. So work that out.
I've often said this on Classic Restos: if you've got an old car, if you can, throw some dollars at it if you need to. Throw it at the suspension. Do your ball joints. Do your tyre rod ends. Put some good tyres on it, because just because the cars are old doesn't mean to say they should be like that all the way down the street.
That's 100%. And that's what we've done. We've got a brand new suspension in the car. All the leaf springs in the back all got pulled apart and restored. Every single nut and bolt got pulled off this car, and it's been done as best as we can. So, yeah, we're really happy with the end result.
I think it's a massive accolade for you to have gone to MotorX. Talk about pinnacle cars there, the epitome of paint, chrome, workmanship, and it was great to see you there, mate. Thank you for getting me in a headlock and saying that you want to be on the show, and we've made it here at Meredith for 2018.
Thanks, Fletch. Appreciate being on the show. Fantastic.
You're welcome. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, making our way through Meredith 2018. What an incredible show it is. Now, this interview is a car from a custom perspective. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm great. Fletch, yourself?
Good, mate, good. Tell us about your Ute. It's beautiful. 1963 XL?
XL Ute, Ford Falcon Ute. It's been restored about 7 years ago.
Well, I guess there's three ways you can go with any type of car. We can leave them original, preserved. We can restore one back to original, or do a custom. I like what's been done. It's just enough, isn't it?
It is. It's just clean line, simple, and got a V8 in it.
Well, there you go. Light body car, V8. It'd feel nice under the right foot.
It does. It goes well. And the motor's been modified a bit too.
So what do you got in there? A little Windsor?
It's a Windsor worked, and with 4-speed manual.
Very, very cool. That's a pretty cool thing, right? We've got a 63 Ute, V8, 4-speed box. The colour, what is that, Joe?
It's a Tiger Micra. Unfortunately, it's a Holden colour.
It's a Commodore colour, right?
It is. That's right. Yeah, the VT Commodore.
So, Joe, where does the old car go back with you? Have you always liked your Falcons? At what point of your life did you say you wanted to buy something?
I've been having Falcons since XMs, XPs, XKs since 1989. So I've always had them. Had 2 doors, 4 doors, and this is my first Ute I've had.
Plenty of bits at home?
Yes, a bit. It's getting expensive now.
It's just cool to have anything like that. It's the last of it's Aussie icon stuff, isn't it?
It is, definitely, and yeah, they're getting rarer to get now.
Joe, the interior, nicely done as well. Again, getting back to the exterior, not overdone. Back in a time as well, our dashboards, before any padding was added across the top whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right. So just kept it simple, plain, and clean.
Joe, thanks very much for your time, mate, for sticking around, being on Classic Restos for Meredith 2018. Cool Ute. It really is. It's got a nice side profile, nicely done. The chrome, the bright work. It's just a smart-looking vehicle, isn't it?
It is, and just like it simple and plain.
Yeah. Good on you, Joe.
Thanks, Fletch. Nice to meet you.
You too. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Well, I hope you've really enjoyed just some of the Meredith Classic Car Show for 2018. And I know that you've seen it first here on Classic Restos. It's a big congratulations to David Rocco and the team at Old Skool Streetcars of Geelong for making 2018 another outstanding event with over 700 vehicles and many, many hundreds of people in attendance. Now, until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, Hero Hoists, and Martin's Panel Masters.